Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle from Washington tonight. We have a lot to tell you about later in the show. Big announcement. But first, celebrating, not denigrating, that's the focus of tonight's angle. Now, this is the start of week 6 of President Trump's second term, and the best way to describe the policies so far, unabashedly pro-American.
We got one badass president now who's going to come in and going to take care of this border.
The fundamental goal is we want your children and grandchildren to be able to raise a family in security and comfort in the country that we all love.
He gave us a clear directive, make America safe. And that's what we're going to do.
We're at a level, I don't think we've been at this level maybe ever as the Republican Party. We're a bigger, better, stronger party than ever before. More people in our party than ever before. But the people have given us a resounding mandate for dramatic change in Washington, and we are going to deliver it. We're going to use it, and we're going to make America great again by using it.
And he got a resounding reception at CPAC over the weekend. And our friend and pollster, Mark Penn, he released a big survey today showing that by a 58-42 margin, voters believe Trump is doing a better job than Biden. Now, overall, Trump's job approval is at 52, but his two major domestic policies, the border and cutting waste, are extremely popular. Ditto for Trump's emphasis on merit over DEI and hiring. But what's the Democrats' agenda? Well, resisting and repeating their same old tired lines.
He's modeling everything upon this autocratic, authoritarian, dictatorial, king-like presence that he wants to play inside of our government.
If there's been one through line with Donald Trump, it has been his willingness to do Vladimir Putin's bidding.
He's going after critical jobs to save pennies in order to give himself more room to give big tax cuts to the wealthiest Americans and the wealthiest
So that's what they got. That's it. That's what they got. I haven't heard any of that stuff before. Now, while a majority of voters don't agree with Trump on every policy, what's key is that they do feel much more optimistic about America and the economy. It was in the low 30s, remember, for years. And while Congress remains underwater, the Democrats are in real trouble.
I think you're seeing a retrospective assessment of Biden and the direction the Democratic Party was going, really a lot more negative than it was on Election Day. And they're looking at the contrast on immigration, on economic policy, on some of the social policies. And boy, they're reevaluating. In the Democratic Party, I have never seen anything like this. This is a record low for the Democratic Party in terms of favorability. It has fallen really, really way down, and I don't think there's any leadership right now that's going to be able to bring that back.
Now, how do you resurrect your party, though? By protecting red tape and the bureaucracy, by trying to gin up sympathy for federal workers who need to get real jobs in the real world like most of America. Ever heard of it? Now, do Democrats really think that Americans will stop liking Trump because he fires these people?
I felt absolutely infuriated getting this email with a demand within 48 hours to provide a response on what I did within the last week or face termination. This is clearly an attempt from Elon Musk to harass and bully and intimidate the federal workforce, which is part of his broader plan to gut the federal workforce and privatize public sector services.
Now, making a list of what you accomplished in a week, that's what she was whining about, is harassment and bullying? Of course, because that requires, what, 15 minutes of work? Now, these are the same types who think requiring them to return to the office where they haven't been, oftentimes for 4 years, that basically amounts to a hate crime.
I thought it was great because we have people that don't show up to work and nobody even knows if they work for the government. So by asking the question, tell us what you did this week, what he's doing is saying, are you actually working? What they're doing is they're trying to find out who's working for the government. Are we paying other people that aren't working? And, you know, where's all that? Where's the money going?
Now, not only is that not unfair to insist on accountability and fiscal sanity in government, but it's also deeply patriotic. Because Trump and his team are showing their love for America. Just like moms and dads try to stick to a budget, they try to save money, try to make money for their family. Trump wants the same for America at every level. But what the DC Uniparty has done for decades has been deeply unpatriotic. Printing, borrowing, and spending money like there's no tomorrow, never changing course. The result ultimately being, if they kept going the way they were going, a total collapse of the American system. That's what Elon Musk has been talking about. But Trump and his team, they celebrate America by embracing sweeping reforms.
The dark days of high taxes, crushing regulations, rampant inflation, flagrant corruption, government weaponization, and total incompetence, those days are over. They're over. But we cannot stop now. We're going to push forward every single day. In the immortal words of that great American hero, Captain John Paul Jones, I have not yet begun to fight.
Now, the place went totally crazy at CPAC. And I thought to myself, no wonder so many young people, and I know it's mostly young men, but young women too. His numbers are up among young women. But they're excited about Trump. Think about this. This generation, the younger generation, has heard for years that America is systemically racist. They were told repeatedly to check their privilege at the door and to feel even guilty about their success, guilty about their background. How boring and depressing that message is. But Trump, he's always the candidate that always knew that America deserved and even wanted more.
I will convene a White House task force called Salute to America 250. It will be responsible for coordinating with state and local governments to ensure not just one day of celebration, but an entire year of festivities across the nation to create the Great American State Fair, a unique one-year exhibition featuring pavilions from all 50 states.
It's going to be fabulous, the 250th anniversary, now that Trump is president. Imagine under Kamala Harris, that would have been a depressing event. Now, look, there are plenty of challenges ahead, including inflation, which Trump has to tackle and tackle very smartly. And he's given us, though, a profound opportunity to reset and revive our national spirit, and he's well on his way. And by the way, don't listen to the left. This is not mindless patriotism. It's how a nation survives and thrives. And that's the angle.